Hey everybody, this week we're going to be doing fractions as division. And I know that sounds kind of strange, but it's really to help us understand the relationship of how fractions can represent division problems. It's a lot less complicated than it sounds, so don't let it scare you. But one important skill in this lesson that we need to know and need to cover is changing improper fractions to mixed numbers. And so let's go ahead and look at number one. This should be kind of a refresher for you. You've had experience with this before, but it is one of those things that are a little bit difficult, and sometimes if we don't practice them regularly, then we may forget how to do these things. And so let's look at the first one. It says 13 over 4, or 13 fourths. And so my first step would be to ask myself, okay, how many times will 4 fit into 13? Okay, and if I don't know right off the top of my head, I can list out my factors of 4. So 4, 8, 12, 16. And once I go over 13, I know that I cannot use that one, right? Because it's over 13. So how close can I get to 13 without going over? 12, right? And so how can I get to 12 from 4? I would have to do 4 times 3, right? And so my whole number in my mixed number would be a whole number 3. Okay, and now, how much do I have left over? So my first question is, how many times will 4 fit into 13 without going over? It will fit in 3 times, right? If I do 4 times 3, that's 12, so that's not over 13, right? So that's set. But what is the difference between 13 and 12? 1, right? And then we know that my denominator stays the same. So my mixed number that is equivalent to 13 fourths is 3 and 1/4. Okay, so those are the same. So that means that 13 fourths is the same as 3 and 1/4. It's just no longer improper. It is now a mixed number. Okay, let's look at one more. We have 44 fifths, or 44 over 5. So first step again, how many times will 5 fit into 44 without going over? Right? Well, I know that 5 times 8 is 40, and then I know that 5 times 9 is 45. So 9 would be too high. I would have to have 8 as my mixed number, right? And then 5 times 8 is 40. So what is the difference between 44 and 40? 4. And then my denominator stays the same. So it would be 8 and 4 fifths would be equal to 44 fifths. Okay? And so I want you guys to work on the rest of those. There's only 4 more for you. And then if we look at the bottom, it says read each problem and determine the division equation. What fraction is represented by the equation? And then it says convert it to a mixed number if necessary. So let's look at number 1. I'm only going to do number 1 with you. And then you guys will have to do the rest by yourself. Okay? You can do this. So number 1 says Arya has 5 cupcakes and wants to share them with 8 friends equally. How many cupcakes will each friend receive? So we need to write the division equation that is represented by this problem, and then what fraction is represented by the equation. So let's look at it. It says Arya has 5 cupcakes, and she wants to share them with 8 friends. So if she has 5 cupcakes divided to 8 friends, that would be the equation. 5 divided by 8, right? She has 5 cupcakes, and she's trying to evenly share those with 8 friends. So 5 divided by 8. So that is the division equation, and then we must find the fraction that represents that equation. So 5 divided by 8 can also be written as 5 over 8, or 5/8. Okay, and that is not an improper fraction, so we do not have to change it to a mixed number, and that will be all. So we found the division equation that the problem represents, and then we found the fraction that represents the division equation. As always, we will have lots of practice this week. Please always ask your teacher for help if you need help with these. We will be happy to help you and kind of sit down in class and show you how to do this in person. Please ask, though. Don't just sit back and not ask if you need help, okay? And for this week's dojo point, we're actually going to do something a little different. Instead of dojo points, we're actually going to give you 3 points on your test if you've watched this video. You guys have been putting in a lot of hard work watching the videos and trying these with your homework, and so we want to reward you guys. And so instead of a dojo point this week, we're going to give you 3 points on your test. And all you have to do is write down the superhero's name, which is the Flash. So if you just write down Flash on a piece of paper with your name on it, that will give you 3 points on your test on Thursday. I hope you guys have a great week. See ya.